Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Outsider Season 1, Episode 9. It is called Tigers and Bears. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. And this is very much the build-up to the final showdown. The episode literally ends with the sort of start of this conflict kind of kicking in. And I think my biggest kind of indictment of the show would be that when it does kick off at the end of the episode, I wasn't really that excited or whatever. I was kind of in a shrug kind of mood by the time I got
ready
there.
to get it done.
Yeah, I was like, okay, good, we're close to the end now. That's good news.
Yeah, I thought this episode, just to look at this episode as a whole on its own, kind of dragged. There was a large portions that I feel like, why are we doing this?
Well, you mean like when they're sitting having chicken and talking about remembering
Kids
each
in a
other from
cave.
court and the kids in the cave, yeah, because we have this whole series of flashbacks to like the 20s or whatever it is, where these two kids went missing in a cave, and there was a cave in, and I was expecting this to tie in more with the actual doppelganger. I mean, by the end of the episode, it's kind of just, no, that's where a lot of the family are buried, so that's why they expect to find them at this cave. So I guess that's just all it was. Part of me still expecting another twist next episode where it's like, oh no, and one of the kids was actually taken by the monster inside the cave.
Maybe, but like if it was just what it seems to be, guy could have just gone, oh yeah, there's tons of family members in that cave. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't need, I don't know, 10 minutes of flashbacks. Like, honestly, I feel this episode, you could take the first 5 minutes and the last maybe 10 minutes or so. That's all you need.
Yeah. The padding's been strong the last few episodes, and it's a shame because when it dipped in quality after like episode 3 or 4, for a couple, we were like, okay, this is a little bit of a mid-season slump. It's actually gotten worse since then. It's not gotten better. It's gotten more tedious and much more of a chore to sit through. And this episode, for the large part of it, just felt like more middling territory that we didn't really need that much of. There's a scene where Glory comes and speaks to Jeannie about how she's kind of been there for and the girls and you know whatever, and there's scenes where we've got Ralph and the others, and Ralph's like telling like Howard to believe in this because it'll just help now.
That actually really bothered me a little bit in the sense that he's like, just get on board, come on, do it. And I'm like half an episode ago you were like, I don't really know about all this, and they were saying this to you, and now you're like the firm believer.
I don't know if I'd say a firm believer. I think he's just done with the as it isn't it. He's just wanting to like go under the pretense that it is now, just so he can get things done.
Okay, sure, but
well, because my problem with this show is not being how long it's taken Ralph to believe stuff; it's how quickly everyone else did.
well, no, I haven't got a problem with how long it took Ralph to believe stuff. Absolutely not. That was something we kind of liked. Is that it does take time to get to this stage. I think the problem is that he just got to that stage, and that's okay. But now he's the one giving lectures to other characters, going, get on board immediately after. It kind of feels it's just a bit hollow for me.
I think the emphasis you're putting into the way he said it is a bit wrong. He didn't say get on board. He wasn't like getting angry with him. It was very just let's just do it and just move forward. It was very tired.
It felt like, I don't know. For me, it felt like the same thing that when he was being told this. I think it was last episode of like, if you're going to be out here, you got to have to believe it, or you're going to get in the way. It kind of felt like he was giving that speech that he'd just gotten, and I don't know. I just didn't buy it.
I didn't feel like he was giving the same speech. I felt like he was just starting to agree with that, and he was just sort of passing it on. Not that I'm really defending it in the sense that I don't like it. I don't like the scene that much. I don't really like most of the scenes in this episode, but I'm not going to criticize it for something that I don't felt like it did. If that makes sense.
Fair enough.
So the cops aren't really happy that they've given this, they gave Claude this alibi, but once they actually hear that they're there about this other murder, and one of them's even heard of the case because he mentions the kid's name, the Maitland boy, he's like, okay, if you want to speak to our witnesses, and sure. And so they talk to the grandfather and the little boy and ask him questions, and it kind of points to the direction that he was going in. They're looking for this cave. They hear about a bear cave, but there is no bear cave. The cop at the station's like, nah, I mean, we've got the saber-toothed tiger cave, we've got this cave, we've got that cave. There's no bear cave. And then it's later on in the episode, we find out from Claude's brother, and he knows this because a lot of his family were affected by it. Because most people are it's too long ago now that most people in town don't know about this. But there was this big cave in when they went looking for these two boys that went missing. back in the 20s, and that's what the whole backstory. And yeah, we did not need flashbacks to this.
None of this was necessary whatsoever. This felt like, well, we haven't got enough to make it the rest of the episode, so that'll do.
And notably, it was already a shorter episode. If you looked at the runtime, it was only about 50 minutes as opposed to the full hour, which in HBO tends to be really stringent with them hitting the right time consistently. This episode was 10 minutes shorter, and half of it was easily cuttable. It was like, we could have thrown most of this shit out.
I really think you could get this episode down to 15 or 20 minutes without even struggling.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in this that just felt like it was passing time. This is it's not the first episode that I felt like I could just like multitask with, but it's the first time I was sitting here actively wanting to do something else while I was watching it, just so that I wasn't having to. Because it's easier to get through something like this if your mind's kind of only half on it. Right? See when you're see when you're giving all your attention and time into something like this, and you feel like it's wasting it, you get frustrated. And I've kind of felt that for a few episodes now, but this was the first one where it's taking every fiber of my being to pay enough attention to this, so so that I can actually review it properly. And I don't want to. Like I'm ready to drop this now. And if it wasn't for the fact that the finale was next episode, I would do. But I mean, we're there. We've got one episode. We might as well finish it now and talk about how the ending also doesn't work. I mean.
Probably at this point. It's so frustrating because, like you say, near the start we were like, well, maybe it's just a mid-season slump. It was like episode, I think, 4 that we started feeling that. And at the time, it wasn't that it felt like it was padding things out so much. We thought there might be too much content in general, but it didn't feel like it was padding out in the way that this episode did. It was more just, okay, it was a couple of frustrating choices here. The pacing was just slowing down a bit.
Oh, this isn't this episode though. The last episode was equally as padded, I thought.
Oh, it was, yeah. But we were saying, oh, it'll pick up for the last couple, it'll upswing. And even last week we thought, okay, well, we should be picking up energy now, but there's only 2 left, so it's got to now. And then most of this episode still really doesn't.
No, it's not. It's not until towards the very end. Okay, we've got a good idea of where the thing is, so we're going to go. And the one thing that's going throughout the episode is this idea that they don't want to tell Claude anything about what they're doing or what they're trying to figure out, because Holly's got a theory that anything Claude kind of takes in information wise, the thing might get that as well, because there's like a connection to him right now, which is honestly not something I feel like's really been set up. But whatever, I'll go with it.
It was a little weird because obviously we knew he had the connection with whoever he was controlling, right? So we knew that connection was there, and we'd seen plenty of evidence of that. But we hadn't seen any evidence of this sort of control, or not even control, just connection. Like there was no implication that he knew everything Terry was thinking at that time. Like that's kind of never even been a suggestion.
No, not really. But so because of that, that's why Howard's takes Claude away to go for this great chicken that everyone's talking about. This place that's kind of away from town, and keeps them out of the way while they're planning things, and then he comes back, and Howard's left behind with them as the rest go off to confront the cave, and not even necessarily go fighting. They kind of if we confirm he's in there, we'll call in backup, and we won't necessarily tell them there's a monster. We'll just say, oh, the guy who tried to kidnap the kid and maybe killed these other kids is in there, and they can come with their SWAT teams and whatever, and maybe stand a chance, right? And the big thing here is that Howard's an idiot and lets himself get high, and then he craves some chicken. He goes to get some chicken, and while he's out the room, Claude's brother is infuriated that they've not been telling Claude everything, so he tells him everything. And it's not until Claude himself says, "You idiot, why are you telling me this? Like, this thing, I can feel a connection. Don't tell me this shit. Now they all know they're coming." And we see sort of at the same time, as the the monster wakes up, Jack kind of gets an order, and he because we saw him gearing up his car with all this ammo and the sniper rifle and all that. So he's lying away. He's up in the hill. He's got a sniper spot. He's waiting for them to come in. And they're prepared for them, and that's the big sort of thing at the end of the episode. And I was convinced Andy was going to die at the end, and they kind of swerved me, because I mean he might still die, but Alec's the only one we see actually get shot. He's a headshot. That's kind of the last thing we see.
Was that who it was? It was a little unclear for me who it actually was, because you only see the back of the head, and then it never actually showed me a shot of the group as a whole after that to see who it actually was.
That's not a complaint though. I mean, I'll defend that. That's a stylistic thing. They wanted to just end on this final shot.
Okay, sure, but it was quite unclear as to who was actually killed. Like you saw, okay, someone's head got shot.
I don't think it was that unclear. I thought it was quite obviously Alec, but
no, fair enough. Maybe this was just me.
His hair's pretty distinct between him and the rest of the people there.
Fair enough.
So And plus, the camera just panned from the others in the scene, so because it's looking through the line of sight, and you see it looking around at the various people. So he's the only one left. But I was convinced that was because I'd basically sort of kind of predicted this was going to be the ending, but I thought Andy was going to be the one who was shot, and the reason why I thought that was for two reasons. There was two scenes in this that were designed to make us care about Andy. There was one at they go to one of the cemeteries to see if the things like lying there, because they know it sort of lies next to cemeteries where it's killed people and the families are all buried there, which is why it's in the cave. But they go to a cemetery to check it out. And he gives this speech about how this couple who died, they're very close together. How he believes that whenever a couple does that, it's just this, it's kind of the love that does that the other one can't live without the first one, and he kind of sees it in this beautiful way, and it kind of makes Holly smile, and it's kind of a sweet scene. And then later on in the car when they're on the way to the caves, he's like doing movie quotes, and she guesses the movie, tells them what year it came out, all these things. She's basically being one of us, but she's not seen the movie. And he just thinks that's kind of sweet. But they're kind of joking. They sort of kiss before they get out of the car, and I'm like, okay, this is all designed to make me care about him a little bit, because he's clearly I think him and Alec were the two that were most likely to die. Eunice as well. I think Holly and Ralph are the ones who feel safe,
at least until the last episode. At
least until maybe like the sort of the last sort of section of the final episode, yeah. But the others are the ones who feel like, they could be the shock death right now to get to raise the tension. And I was expecting Andy to die, and he didn't. It was Alec instead, but he would have been next on my list. I'd have said Andy first, and then Alec would be second pick. But
yeah, and we hear a lot of gunshots go off after it fades to black, so it's possible that more than one was hit, and they want to bring it in as a shock after that if they want to.
Yeah, they do this thing where you like Alec goes down, and it goes into a close up of Ralph looking and sort of starting to move as if he's about to react. It cuts to black, and you hear like maybe 6 gunshots. And obviously the tease here is that has he shot all of them? But I mean, obviously some of them have got behind cover. There's going to be more to it than that next episode.
I'll be surprised if any of them are actually shot after this, but I can see the potential for one of them also having been hit in that section, and we'll just come in with one of them down.
Yeah, maybe not dead. Maybe like because they're all moving now, so maybe he gets a shoulder of like Andy or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
Some of that. So one of the things that's frustrating me in this show, and it's frustrating me more and more, and it was fine early on because there was a lot of like, it's hard to believe this shit. But in episode 9, where we're at the point we're at, where they're still having conversations about believing in this thing. There's a scene in the car with Ralph, Alec, and Eunice, and Eunice is like, so you're on board now, you believe in this stuff now. And even just at the start of this scene, as soon as he started talking and asking these questions, I'm like, I don't need this conversation. Like, this is far more interesting left unsaid, and just let it play out in his face. Let us see him react to things. But we have this extended conversation about him struggling with this because it challenges everything he's ever believed or known. And Alec jumps in with like, look, you just have to take small bites. You take one small bite because you need to take the bite to sort of make sense of it enough so you can keep going, but you just leave it there until you're ready for another small bite of whatever the big tapestry is. And that sentiment's fine. Like, that sentiment, like, because the first time Alec ever said something like this, when he was talking about maybe we get it wrong sometimes because we're too arrogant, and we mistake supernatural for mental illness because we're so sure that that's what it has to be. And it's the opposite of the olden times where they just assumed it was like witches and demons and shit and not mental illness. And that was a really good point, and I felt like this could have swapped in to an extent kind of in the same part of the season where he maybe gave this same speech about, no, you just accept a little bit that you need to and move on. There's nothing wrong with the sentiment. This just feels so redundant. I feel like at this point in the season, I'm past the need for this type of scene. Like, we're ready to go. We're ready to like see this through, and it's still
ready to believe or not, right?
Yeah, we're still pacing this like it's episode 3 or 4, and it's just frustrating, and quite frankly, it's boring. I was bored pretty much throughout the entire episode. And the problem is that I don't even know if it can win. It can't win me back now. And the reason why it can't win me back is that there's not enough time now to make me care again. Because this moment at the end, when they're all coming to this place, and we know that Jack's there with the rifle, and we know that at least one of them is probably going to die because he's got the drop on them. This should be tense. This should be exciting. This should be all these things that you want from a thriller or a narrative story, right? And I felt nothing. They've made me... I mean, I was never on board with all the characters, but they've made me actively not care about any of them at this point. I'm just kind of ready for it to be over. And I realise this is a super negative review, and there's not a whole lot of positive things to say, but the show's done that to me. Like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I just don't like it anymore. It's a bad show. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone.
We tried, we did, and it's rare that we get to the end of a season where we think that something's got promise and we stick with it. We usually have there's a couple of scenarios here where after about episode 5 we kind of realize that it's going downhill and we kind of hard out there.
Mhm.
At which point it's obvious, okay, don't bother. Is our opinion then. It gets better, which is the most common thing. Shows tend to get better as they go on, as a rule. Um, this is where, okay, we're going to finish the season. And at the start of the season, we'd have given, if you go back and listen to our, spoiler-free section, episode 1, we probably said, yeah, this has got some promise. It's worth checking out. Whereas we'll get to this point at the end of the season, and now if anyone asks us, we will actively be like, nope, don't bother. And there's only a handful of shows I can think of that we've done that with before.
Yeah. It's depressing, and the sad part is that you come into the first few episodes of this, and I wanted to talk about how the camera would do certain things. I remember, I think episode 3 had that great shot outside the office, and I was kind of analysing how it represented them being in their box and all the rest of it. And I get to this episode, and I'm so out of touch with caring about any of it that I'm not thinking in that way anymore. I'm just kind of hoping for them to make me care somehow, and they're just not.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you if there were any particularly nice camera movements or anything in this. I think if they were particularly bad, they'd stick out, and I'd be going, "Oh, look at that." But I don't recall anything that nice. But that doesn't mean they weren't there. Maybe I'm just, I'm just over it at this point. It's not going in if it is that nice, because the writing is at a stage where it's bad enough now that some nice direction can't really salvage it.
Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. This episode, we'll see what the finale's like. But I was bored to tears with everything. With the brother, Claude's brother, like picking fights with everyone was just dull. I was so sick of it last episode. I was even more just done with it this episode.
Yeah, and Howard was frustrating here at the end, because the brother literally just tells him, we should really tell him what's going on. This is not right. And he's like, right, cool, I'm gonna get some chicken. And then
yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that he does, the brother does promise not to. But I mean, do you like to trust him, Howard? Did you really? I mean, you're a criminal attorney. Like you deal with people who lie to you all the time.
I know. It was a frustrating decision. He's just like, I'm gonna head out. You definitely don't tell him anything. All right, you got that? And it was just like, come on.
Yeah, it was frustrating. It wasn't frustrating in a way where the character's motivations made sense. It was frustrating in a way where the writing is contrived to create the scenario that it wants to create for the next scene, and because of that, it just feels false. It feels sloppy, and I kind of hated this episode. So we'll see the finale, see if it salvages anything out of this. I'm not optimistic at this point, unfortunately, but we'll find out next week. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show and the channel and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and you can support us for as little as $1 per month. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?